happy new year 2024. Oh yeah, today I want to share about something that is common among us individuals, both the young and the old. And that thing we are going to share about is depression. So depression is a common mental disorder, and globally an estimated 5% of adults suffer from depression, and where we see that more women are affected by depression than men. So, in most cases, depression can lead to suicide, but we see that there is effective treatment for both mild, moderate, and severe depression. So, depressive disorder, also known as depression, is a common mental disorder. It involves a depressed mood or loss of pressure or interest in activities for long periods of time. And depression is different from regular mood changes and feelings about everyday life. And we see that it can affect all aspects of life, including relationships with family, relationships with friends, and community, and can result from or lead to problems at school and maybe at work or any other place. So, depression can happen to anyone. People who lived through abuse, through severe losses, or other stressful events are more likely to develop depression. And women are more likely to have depression than men. That's so surprising, though. But we see that an estimated 3.8% of the population experience depression, including 5% of adults, where we see that 4% among men and 6% among women, and 5.7 of adults older than 60 years, approximately 280 million people in the world have depression. Depression is about 50% more common among women than among men. So, worldwide, more than 10% of pregnant women and women have just given birth experience depression. And more than 700,000 people die due to suicide every year. And suicide is the fourth leading cause of death in 15 to 29 years old people. 15 to 29 years old people are the age bracket where we see suicide and taking off lives of people. Although there are known effective treatments for mental disorders, more than 75% of people in low and middle income countries receive no treatment. And barriers to effective care include a lack of investment in mental health care, lack of trained health care providers, and social stigma. So, what are the symptoms and patterns of a depressive disorder patient? Those are the things that you need to know. And in case you experience this, just know you're not far from it. But sorry, you're not. So we see that during a depressive episode, a person experiences a depressed mood. The depressed mood is feeling sad, irritable, and empty. The depressive disordered people can also feel a loss of pleasure or interest in any activities. A depressive episode is different from regular mood fluctuations, and they last most of the day, nearly every day, for at least 2 weeks. And other symptoms are also present, which may include poor concentration. You're given a task, but you just have low mood and boost to go about it. You have feelings of excessive guilt or low self-worth. You even feel hopelessness about the future. You see no future coming. I've been experiencing this. I'm in the healing process of depression, but I now get to the final. Now we see that there is even the thoughts of about dying, suicide. You're like, I'm tired of this. What if I go ahead and do this? Maybe I could rest from this. We have disrupted sleep. Most of the times, people experience primary insomnia or experience secondary insomnia, or they have no sleep at all. And we also have changes in appetite. Oh, wait, some people grow fat, whereas others grow thin and lose weight. People feel very tired or low in energy. So, depression can cause difficulties in all aspects of life, including in the community and at home, work, and school. And a depressive episode can be categorized as mild, moderate, or severe, depending on the number of uh, depending on the number and severity of symptoms, as well as the impact on the individual's functioning. So there are different patterns of depressive episodes, which include the following. We have single episode depressive disorder, meaning the person is first and only episode. You get it? And two, we have recurrent depressive disorder, which means the person has a history of at least two depressive episodes. And we have bipolar disorder, bipolar affective disorder, whatever it is, meaning that depressive episodes alternate with periods of manic symptoms, which include euphoria or irritability, increased activity or energy, and other symptoms such as increased talkativeness, racing thoughts, increased self esteem, decreased need for sleep, distractibility, and impulsive, reckless behavior. And now we got the contributing factors and prevention of this depressive disorder. Because we see that depression results from a complex interaction of social, psychological, and biological factors. People who have gone through adverse life events like unemployment, like bereavement, or traumatic events are more likely to develop depression. So, depression can, in turn, lead to more stress and dysfunction and worsen the affected person's life situation and the depression itself. You get my point. So that's how deadly it is. Depression isn't your portion. It's never a good thing you could wish to run for. It is so stressing. So, so how do we come over to this? Depression is closely related to and affected by physical health. Many of the factors that influence depression, such as physical inactivity or harmful cardiovascular diseases, may also find themselves experiencing depression due to the difficulties associated with managing their condition. You get it? So, prevention programs have been shown to reduce depression, and effective community approaches to prevent depression include school-based programs to enhance a pattern of positive coping in children and adolescents. And we see that interventions for parents of children with behavioral problems may reduce parental depressive symptoms and improve outcomes for their children. exercise programs for all depressants can also be effective in depression prevention. And now, when we come to the medical part, we have to see the diagnosis and treatment for depression, because we see that there are effective treatments for depression. You get it? There are so many of them, and we see that they include psychological treatment and medication. And you may need to seek uh, medications or medical interventions in case you have the symptoms of depression, or you may need to seek care. So, psychological treatments are the first treatments for depression. They can be combined with antidepressant medications in moderate and severe depression. Antidepressant medications are not needed for mild depression. You get that one? However, psychological treatments can teach new ways of thinking, coping, or relating to others. I'm one of these guys who was so much antisocial because of depression. But through the times I went for a psychological class, I understood about personality and much of this. I saw myself drinking out myself and becoming something different. Get it? So the psychological needs, the psychological treatments, which includes about that brings about thinking, coping, or relating to others, and they may include talk therapy, talk therapy with professionals and supervised therapists. The talk therapy can happen in person or online. Like this, most of the times involves one-on-one. You need to get someone and have one-on-one. Let the person be conducive to you, and you open up. And by that, you're healing. You get it? You may not have the physical one, but you can even go on your internet and maybe search on people who have those guys who are professional that way, and they can help you cope up with that kind of challenge. So psychological treatments may be accessed through self-help manuals, websites, maybe apps, and so everywhere. So we even say that the effective psychological treatments for depression may include one, behavior activation, and two, we have cognitive behavior therapy, and three, we have interpersonal physiotherapy, problem solving therapy, and present medications including selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors such as SSRIs, and we have this other serotonin which is called fluoxetine. So those are some of the treatments that you may need. However much, avoid self-medication. You don't need to do self-medication, man. So healthcare providers should keep in mind the possible adverse effects associated with antidepressant medications. The ability to deliver either intervention or in terms of expertise and or treatment availability and individual preferences. And the present should not be used for treating depression in children and not for the first line of treatment in adolescents, among whom they should be used with extra caution. So different medications and treatments are used for bipolar disorder. We have self-care, and self-care can play an important role in managing symptoms of depression and promoting overall well-being. What can you do now? One, try to keep doing activities you used to enjoy. Stay connected to friends and family. Exercise regularly, even if it is just a short walk. Stick to regular eating and sleeping habits as much as possible. Avoid or cut down on alcohol and use Don't use illicit drugs which can make depression worse. Need to talk to someone you about, or you need to get someone you trust and let them, you open to them and tell them they can help you out. You get it? Seek help from a healthcare provider. If you have thoughts of suicide, remember you're not alone. You are not alone. And that many people have gone through what you're experiencing. I'm a culprit. Talk to someone you trust about how you feel. Get a friend, trust them, be open to them, and tell them how you feel. Talk to a healthcare worker, such as a doctor or a counselor. Join a support group. If you think you're in immediate danger of harming yourself, contact any available emergency services. You don't have to keep that weight down throughout. Get it? So depression is a deadly animal that you don't need to get closer to, that you don't need to get attached to so much. It will make you lose your social capital. It will make you lose your focus on the future. It will make you lose hope. It will make you make losses because you will not even feel like you loving yourself. You just need to get rid of that shit, man, and come to a sense of your own and see it. I spoke this because I just want to share with this because I've been a culprit for depression. However much I'm in the healing process, but it affected me so very much. And I know I'll get to the win. I'm in the process, but I will. So I wanted to take the initiative. Please like the video, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more of this kind.